I come up with that riff? Well, that's a song obviously kind of mixed of my influences from ZZ Top and Gary Moore. Hangman's Tree, the title and the lyrics are very much influenced from my childhood hero, Tex Willer. Now, I started reading this comic in, I think, very early 1970s, and I haven't missed one issue since then. That is very important to me. It's a basic song, pure rock and roll. We wanted to go a little bit simpler on this one, simply because I've done so many different styles on the early albums, and I thought, let's try to stick more to the blues rock genre. I tried really hard. Some songs I tried, and I had to put in something weird just to prove that I'm not a straight blues rocker. Anyway, this song, the main solo in the song is overdubbed, but the rhythm guitar and end solo is all complete live, one take. And this was one of the first ones we did in the session, and we did 2 or 3 takes, and that was it. We just chose the one with the best feel, and then I did the overdubs for it, and I sang it the next week. Very simple. The lyrics is about a good outlaw, a kid who grows up in the wrong neighborhood and becomes an outlaw, a killer, and he will never give up. He knows that he's bound for the Hangman's Tree. The lyrics are written by me and my very dear friend Bryn Jones, who helps me out always with lyrics. And one of the straightforward rockers on this album. Great punch in your face when you start the album. Don't drive when you listen to the first song. You'll drive too fast. The title track of the album, Another Day, has a riff that I've been playing for a long time, and I just could not get it fit to anything that I had until just a few days before we started rehearsing. I came up with the riff, or I finalized the riff. I played it to Okko, who said, hey, can we change a few rhythmical things? And that's where his genius as a producer came up. He made the drums and bass slightly different and changed the riff around. Same notes, just a little bit different rhythmic in it. And then he said, make the verses simple and make the chorus simple, make it melodic, but keep the riff heavy. And for those who are very musically gifted, they would notice there's simple chords in the chorus. But from the beginning it was supposed to be just D, C and B flat. But I thought maybe we change the C to a C major 7. Not exactly a rock chord, but it gives a slightly different feel to the whole thing. And we didn't have a solo, and I thought, oh, should we go just keep on the same thing, or should we just jam on something? And I think we were on a break, and Johnny, the bass player, Johnny Vierva, came back, and I was jamming on this riff. And, yeah, that's kind of like Black Sabbath. And I'm like, Black Sabbath? So we stuck it in there, and that's the... And it's all live. There's one guitar, like the drums, the bass guitar was recorded all live. We did 3 takes, and the first take had the best feel, but I wasn't really happy with the solo. So I said, look, I like the solo on the 3rd take. And we did not use click with the drums on any track. And this is where Miri's excellence comes through. Okko said, oh, we can fly in the solo from one of the other takes, and that's what we did. It's still basically all live. I added a couple of acoustic guitars on it, and I sang it. Another Day, basically lyrics about, as everyone who lives, we have to go on another day. But as a musician, you have to go on another day, and then you go to another town, you sit in the car, you travel. And sometimes it feels like this is too much, I don't want to do this. But every time you come to the evening of that another day, when you play, you feel alive again. And that's, I guess, why we do it. Go on another day. Wayward Child, I really like melodic stuff, melodic pop, if you like. I love Neil Young's way of singing songs that have a great melody over simple chords. I love Cheap Trick. I like some of the Gary Moore stuff where he plays extremely melodic melodies, but it's still kind of rock. And this is a song that when I played it to the guys, I said, this might not actually fit us, because I'd originally written it a couple of years ago for my wife's band, but it never happened, so I decided to record it myself. I didn't have any lyrics. I told Jasmine that, look, I need lyrics, can you please write them? And it took forever for her to get started, or she didn't want to start or whatever. And I said, look, I'm going to go into the studio next week, I need the lyrics. And I think I went to the shop or something, and I came back and she goes, there, is this okay? And I was like, perfect. To me, they represent the feeling when kids grow up and leave home to live their own lives. They need all the support they can to be able to be free. And I recall myself when I left home, 18, 19 years old, moved away, and I said, I'm going to be a musician. And it's like, what? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to go and study. Well, I never did. That's why I'm sitting here telling you about this now. But I got the support from my parents and from my friends and everyone, and that's very important. No matter what, if you want to go out and be a carpenter, or if you want to go out and be a pilot or doctor or postman, whatever, you need to have the support from your parents to what you do. And it's a very important song to me. Again, the rhythm guitar and the end solo, which was not exactly planned. I showed the guys the chords at the ending, but we didn't really plan anything, we just played. Now that's all live, and I went for this kind of a Neil Young-y, ugly guitar sound at the end. And in the middle of the song, I wanted to have, again, I mentioned Gary Moore because he's been a big influence for me, but this kind of very melodic but powerful solo melody. This is one of my favorite tracks to play live as well, Wayward Child. And our second single release, if there's such a thing as a single nowadays, but I'm very pleased with this one, Wayward Child. Shuffle is great. MIDI probably plays the best shuffle there is. As a drummer, he has been a studio musician in Finland, and he's known for his incredible touch, especially shuffles, the Jeff Porcaro shuffle, and also other shuffles obviously, but that's really one of his fortes. And I'm not a very good blues songwriter. I write songs with melody, but the feel of this song is completely blues. I just wanted to put some extra chords there because I don't see myself as someone who plays 3-chord blues. I get bored very easily. So this song has a couple of chord changes that are not blues, but the whole song is blues. For instance, the chorus. I just want to maybe put some coloring in the chords underneath so that I can sing some other melody on top to give it more a Ben Granfelt touch, I guess, which is playing the chords that are not supposed to be there. And the lyrics were very hard to write because at the young age that I am, which is 30 years old plus 23, every now and then you have to go for a checkup. Not checkup from the neck up, not that, but checkup from the neck down, maybe. Blood test, everything. And I did it in May 2016. And I waited for the doctor to come back with the results, and I was on a gig. And I was waiting and waiting, he never called, and I started, what if something's wrong? How could I deal with that fact that the doctor's going, hey, you better come into the office, son. So I got this kind of really terrible scenario in my head, and I started to think about it and write about it. And then I realized that if I'm okay, what if this would happen to a person near to me, dear to me, and if I would have to go through the pain of seeing someone pass away from a sickness or illness that can't be cured anyway, and you look at the person and you see them just fade away from what they were. And then I started thinking, but if you really have that connection with someone, then you might feel that that person still, after he or she is gone, is there somewhere looking down at you. And that's where the title comes from, Shine Like the Sun Over Me. If something like that terrible would happen, then that there is a connection and someone is watching from above. So it's a bit of a touchy lyric, but I'm also very pleased with how this come out. Complete live. There's a effect guitar in the chorus is recorded, but everything else is completely live. And we just had a nice band dinner. We haven't even, this arrangement wasn't ready. And we had a band dinner at the studio. We went into the studio, sat down, talked through the arrangement, recorded it once. Okko came down and said, that's it. And we were not so happy, but he said, no, that's it. You got to come up and listen to this. And the relaxed feel is there. As a guitar player, I can say that I could probably have played better, but that's something I would say after every song. But I think this has a really great feel of the way I see blues. It's a shuffle, and but it's still melodic, and there's a little bit more chords in it to take it away from the 3-chord minor blues. Shine like the sun over me. I always have a few instrumental songs per album, and this is the first album with only one instrumental. Actually, it's the second one, Handmade, also only one instrumental, but I started out writing instrumental music, and then I got into singing, and it's taken me a long time to feel confident with my singing, because as a guitar player I'm so much better. And this is something I've been jamming on, kind of with a very big guitar sound, kind of an atmospheric Jeff Beck meets Hank Marvin, The Shadows kind of thing. And it's only 1 minute and 40 seconds long, but it's a great introduction to, sometimes we play it before we do Breathe, sometimes we play it before we do another slow song, just to take things down, but make them kind of like a feel-good thing before the next song. So, and I named it Endless because it took me forever to finish the last bit of it. But it finishes up. This is also the first album, the first CD or the first recording that will come out as an album, vinyl album. So this finishes side A in a very nice way, whereas side B starts with a